Hey guys, my name's Colin, and I'm feeling pretty good right now. And you are watching ClassyHerps. Alright guys, so I got 4 new animals this week that I wasn't really planning on, but it's a great surprise. There are 4 new ball pythons, and my rack is almost full now. You see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 new tubs. Alright guys, so these are the 4 new little ball pythons that I bought today. They're about a month old, and there's a different story about these guys. As you can tell, they kind of look like normals, but actually a pet store that I live around actually just got in a shipment of African ball pythons. These weren't taken out of the wild, but their parents are wild ball pythons that are bred in pits in Africa, which I don't really approve of, but these guys hatched in captivity of these people, and they're shipped over to the United States. Alright, and so everyone knows that all new morphs have to come from Africa, but that's where these guys are native to. So these guys were born in Africa, which is really awesome. Now I want to show you why I bought them. You can see this is probably the best one out of the 4. It's a little girl. Her name's Abby. Look at her colors and look at her pattern. Look how clean it is. Look how white it is up her sides. Look how blushed out she is. She's almost orange. She's got a super clean pattern. It's very pretty. She's probably the best. This one here is also really nice too. I forgot, their bellies are perfectly clear. She's really nice too. Really nice. Here's another girl. That one's also a girl. I got 3 girls. I got those 2 earlier in the week on Monday, last Monday. And I got these 2. This one is the male. I got them yesterday. This is the male. He's kind of different from the girls because his pattern is much busier, and he's way lighter. You can't see it on camera really, but along his back, it's pretty much pastel, almost super pastel yellow. Right along his spine there, it is so yellow. And his blushing is just really crazy. Alright, so if you're still not convinced that they actually look different from normal, I pulled out Normal, my bug Allen here, who his parents and his parents and his parents have probably been in captivity, bred over and over as normals. So he is normal. Look at the color difference there. And look at the pattern difference. See how busy and messed up his is? Not very clean. Just look at the color difference there. That's dark brown and that's almost orange. Very, very pretty snakes. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that they're a brand new morph, but a lot of things that come out of the wild, when they look like this, they look like normals. There's a lot of things that look like normals, but when you breed them to other things, these crazy things can happen. Like, I don't know if anyone's seen the vanilla ball pythons, or special ball pythons, or even sometimes a lot of fires look normal. There's so many normal looking ball pythons that look like this, that they look prettier than a normal ball python, kind of like that. But then when you breed them to other things, just amazing things happen. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this and watching them eat and watching them grow and hopefully creating something that no one's ever seen before. So of course I have to show you how much they weigh. This is the prettiest one, Abby, I showed you. She was 55 grams when I bought her on Monday. And she's already 66 grams. She hadn't eaten in the store before, and I got her, she's eaten already twice this week, so she's off to a great start. This is the other one that I bought on Monday, and she was 52 grams when I bought her, and she's already 60 grams, so she's also eaten twice, and she's just taken off. Like, I can tell they're going to be great eaters. Now this one that I got yesterday hasn't ever eaten yet, and I haven't tried yet because I just got it. I gotta let it get settled in, but it looks like it's 49 grams. So that's what a newborn baby ball python that hasn't ever eaten yet before. And a month is okay for these little guys because they're still just finishing absorbing the yolk from their egg. That's alright. This is the male. I think he ate once in the store. So he's 61 grams. So he's already eaten once, but he hasn't eaten here from me yet because I haven't tried, but I'm sure I can get him to. Alright now guys, on a more serious note, there does need to be something said about buying wild animals like this. I always was against it to start with, and if you ever go into a pet store like Petco or PetSmart, and they're a big chain, and all they care about is making money, to tell you the truth. So they buy a lot of their animals straight from Africa. And let me tell you guys, that is a horrible idea to go buy one of those. Number one, because you have to pay like $80 for this animal that is probably loaded down with parasites, and I know that wild ball pythons who have eaten wild rats and actually lived in the wild are horrible eaters for people who are trying to keep them as pets in captivity. They're not very good. You need a captive bred or captive born animal like these, and all the ones I have. I would never buy a wild caught animal because it's just kind of against what I believe in, taking an animal right out of the wild like that. These guys, that's not the case. They were born in human hands, and they've never lived in the wild. So don't get mad at me for that. They are brand new. No one's ever seen this animal's genes before. This animal's genes have never been bred in captivity before, besides the very first time. And their parents were from the wild, and they kind of still are, because how they're bred in Africa, people there dig these big pits, and they go find all these wild ball pythons, and they just throw them all together, and they just let them have eggs in there, and then when the eggs hatch, they grab all the babies, and they just throw them into this huge shipment of them, straight to whatever country that is asking for them. And cool things can happen. It's estimated that we've only found 10% of all the morphs that are out there in the wild that are available to us. We've only found 10% of them, guys. That means there's 90% more. And you guys know how many ball python morphs there are. Imagine what that could be. So, you know, really anything that's come straight from the wild, this animal's genes have never been bred before. And there could be something in this guy that when you breed it to another morph, could make something. It could make a blue ball python. It can make a pink one. It could do anything. Really, it can. I'm not saying that it is, but it does look special, and I hope I have a good chance of this. Alright, one more thing I want to show you guys regarding those ball pythons. I already put them away and I'm not going to get them out again, but you remember how light they looked. And this girl has a little bit of stuck shed left, but she is a het clown. Now something, I was thinking that they are so light, usually those things indicate something. This girl, like I said, is a het clown. You see how light her colors are. This is that normal, my male Alan. See how light her colors are. And she's held them, it's not just a baby thing, she's held them and she's about 700 grams. So she's held on to those very light colors in her very clean belly, and she's a very clean looking snake. You see how light she is? That's sometimes an indicator that they are heterozygous for something, carrying another gene, that it might be a recessive morph. So that's something that I'm kind of excited about, because they look a lot alike this, but even a cleaner pattern. Okay, now if you ever wondered how I set my ball pythons up, this is the typical baby setup. This is a 6-quart tub that works on my rack. 6 quarts aren't quite as tall as all the others, so I have to use a lid on these, but I keep them in a 6-quart tub until they're 200 grams. It doesn't take them very long. As they're babies, they grow so fast. Now what I write on the front is the animal's name, if it has one. I write the morph. I just wrote African import on here because I don't know what it is yet, and the sex. In the tub, this is different from, once they're 200 grams, I'll change their setup, but to start with babies, I have paper towel on the bottom, because I don't want any of those wood chips, I don't want them to ingest any of them when they're this little, because as you see, they're no thicker than my finger, and so something like that could hurt them. So I have paper towel in there, and I keep it very, very damp, much damper than I would any of my older ball pythons, because babies just need that. I have a little water bowl in here, something shallow enough that they probably can't drown in, and I have a paper hide that's pretty simple. I just have a little hole cut out, and they just crawl right in there. They curl up, and they just love it. And I slide the tub to the back onto the heat tape, obviously with a lid on, and they're back to the ball pythons for a second. I need to show you guys how my rack is almost full. This rack has 20 spots, and it was made for these big 41-quart tubs that you house adult ball pythons in. So it can hold 20 adult ball pythons, which is a decent sized collection for someone like me who's in high school. Alright, so I have this whole bottom row filled with ball pythons, second row filled with ball pythons. I have one ball python here, I have my Kenyan sand boa right there, I have my leopard gecko females here, my male leopard gecko here, I have all the African babies up top, and that leaves me this one last row that there's nothing in these tubs for new animals. Alright, that's kind of disappointing, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a yellow belly ball python to breed to some of my African ones, because that seems like the thing that usually unlocks what their true potential is. So I'm definitely going to get a yellow belly to breed to some of those African things. I need to get another axanthic to breed to my axanthic female. I need to get another piebald to breed to my piebald female. I'm going to get another butter to breed to my butter male to hopefully make some leucistics. And if you guys weren't counting, that does fill my rack up completely. So I have all 20 spots filled, which a year ago I could have never imagined filling a rack that big with animals. But because that fills my rack, my brother, he wants a snake in his room just as a decoration, so he's going to fill up a big 40-gallon tank, and he's going to get a killer bee or a bumblebee probably this year, and he's going to have it in his room. You guys are watching this on Monday, so that means that today for you guys, my Tegu ships, and that is going to be awesome. So sometime during the middle of this week, my Tegu is going to come, and it's going to be awesome. I'm going to put up a special video for it right when it shows up, so you guys better be ready for that one, because I'm going to be excited. Alright, so your pup of the week is just this little normal rat. I just love them when they're this old because they're just so cute. I mean, they're just so fat, you know. Just a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks old. That's been your pup of the week. Alright, and I would like to introduce you to your new Who's Your Mama. It's this girl right here. You got to see some of her pups. She had her first litter last time. It was some of those cool blue Rex Dumbo things that happened, and they're really cool. And I put her in with her brothers again, right there and right there, who are also Rex Dumbo, and so is she, obviously. And hopefully I can get some more of the same things because those are really cool. I'm trying to figure out what she had, so it's going to be really interesting. So I just weaned her babies today, and I put her in here today. So hopefully 3 weeks from now I'll be having the update where I can introduce you to her litter. So looking forward to some pinkies. That's been your Who's Your Mama. I know you're tired of seeing this rat, but I don't know what it is. I've been talking to a guy that goes by the username of that, and he really knows his stuff. And I've been talking to him, and we're trying to figure out what this guy is. Okay, this is him, and this is an albino. He's changing colors every time I show him. He looks just almost like an albino now, but it's not really picking up on camera, but he's definitely not an albino. In person, his colors are a little bit more grayish, and if you look at his head is gray. It's not really picking up, and so is the end of his tail right there, but so is the midsection of him is a lot lighter than his head and his tail, but it is getting really white, and I don't know what it is. It's not albino, it's not blue, and I mean it's neither. So he's not all one color either anymore. He's definitely a different shade. So basically I'm doing this update for that user who hopefully we can get this figured out, and just I don't know what it is because he's still changing colors. Maybe he's just changing out of his baby coat and it'll all grow in that gray color again, but I don't know. There's a little further shot away. It's not white. I'm sorry, the camera's not really picking it up, but that's what he is. Alright, so I'll probably see you guys later this week, something like Wednesday when my Tegu shows up, and that's going to be an insane video, so you guys better be prepared for that. Alright, till next time, I will see you guys later. It's been ClassyHerps.